You're watching Something Spoiled Presents The Monitors. Welcome back to the channel. For those of you who are subscribed, I sincerely apologize that I've been away so long. Life happens, but in that time I did launch another channel that I hope you'll check out. It's called Magic Eating and Drinking in Pennsylvania. But I had to come back to do reviews because, well, the summer movie season of 2026 has finally gotten some speed. And there's some stuff coming out worth talking about. Spider-Man Brand New Day just dropped last weekend, and I'm not going to review it because pretty much everyone and their sister already has, and all of you know by now that it's an amazing movie. But I want to pose a question. Who is your favorite Spider-Man and why? I'm going to talk about who my favorite Spider-Man is. It may not be a surprise, but why might be. Let's get into this. Seems like every generation gets its Spider-Man. For some, it will always be Tobey Maguire. I get that. Others, Andrew Garfield captured the heart of Peter Parker. And now there's an entire generation that has grown up with Tom Holland. But here's the interesting thing. I don't think Tom Holland was the best Spider-Man when he was cast. But I do think that he became the best Spider-Man. So one of the biggest misconceptions about acting is that great performances happen the moment the camera starts rolling. Sometimes they do, but often they're discovered. An actor slowly grows into a character until the line between performance and personality begins to disappear. I think that's kind of what happened with Tom Holland. When Marvel introduced him in Captain America Civil War, my first reaction wasn't, that's the greatest Spider-Man. But it was, yeah, they got the casting right. He looked young enough to be Peter Parker. He moved with the athleticism that Spider-Man requires. And he carried the nervous excitement of a teenager standing shoulder to shoulder with legends. Everything worked. But great casting isn't the same thing as a great performance. That did come later. Now, physically, Holland may be the closest live-action star we've had to the comic books. I mean, before acting became his career, he trained as a dancer and a gymnast. And you can see it in everything he does. The way he lands, the way he changes direction mid-motion, even the way he distinctly crouches after a jump. Nothing feels posed. It's natural because he has that heightened body control. Spider-Man has always looked as though gravity was kind of just a suggestion. Tom Holland is the first actor who consistently convinces you that that's actually true. Well, then there's his age. For the first time, Peter Parker actually looked like someone who still belonged in high school. Peter has always been defined by inexperience, by uncertainty. Learning as he goes. When the actor genuinely feels close to that stage of life, those emotions are much easier to believe. And here's another detail that's easy to overlook. Tom Holland is English. And then Peter Parker's from Queens. Yet Holland delivers the most convincing New York accent of anyone who's worn the suit. And it's one of those performances where you stop noticing the accent entirely, which ironically is probably the highest compliment. But none of those qualities explain why I think he's become the definitive Spider-Man. The answer is something that might be much simpler. Tom Holland has presence. Now watch him in almost any scene, especially the quiet ones, and you notice how he's not trying to be interesting. He's just using the actor's most basic, simple tool. He's listening. He's reacting. And of course, he's thinking. But his performance doesn't feel manufactured. It feels lived in. That is the goal that every actor wishes to achieve. But Peter Parker has always been an ordinary kid forced into extraordinary circumstances. And the character only works if you believe the humanity underneath the mask. That is certainly something that Holland understands. Perhaps better than anyone. Now, I only think it's fair to acknowledge something else, that Tom Holland has been given an opportunity that neither Tobey Maguire nor Andrew Garfield ever got. Time. He's played Peter Parker longer than either of them, and he's appeared in far more films. He's experienced more victories and more failures, more heartbreak. For me, the turning point was Spider-Man No Way Home. Yes, audiences understandably remember the three Spider-Men sharing the screen. That was fantastic. One of the greatest fan service moments in modern cinema, to be sure. But Holland, for the first time, he no longer felt like somebody playing Peter Parker. He felt like Peter Parker. Then, Spider-Man Brand New Day, where everything finally came together. He's no longer defined by Iron Man, no longer trying to prove himself among the Avengers. Just one man trying to survive, trying to help people, trying to carry responsibilities that never seem to get any lighter. In other words, the Spider-Man that so many of us grew up reading. Peter Parker's real superpower is that he's relatable. And that's exactly why Spider-Man has endured for more than 60 years. Now, if I'm judging purely on story, I'd place Brand New Day alongside Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2 as one of the strongest Spider-Man films ever made. But, I mean, this isn't a review. It is an appreciation, not just for the character, but of an actor who quietly grew into one of the most iconic roles in cinema. Sometimes audiences know immediately that they've found the perfect actor. Sometimes it takes nearly a decade. For me, that's Tom Holland. He didn't become the best Spider-Man because Marvel said he was. He didn't become the best Spider-Man because he appeared in the most movies. He became the best Spider-Man because somewhere along the journey, the performance disappeared and Peter Parker remained. So, who's your Spider-Man? And that's my opinion. What's yours? Please leave it down in the comments. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and do me a favor, give me a like. That really helps out with the algorithm. That's it for today. We'll return with more stuff to talk about. Be good to yourselves, be good to each other. Peace, God bless, and I'm out of here.